Okay, so Larry, tell us about Netflix, how they make money. I always thought that they make money out of those $10 which we pay every month. But is there another way how they make money, and like how they make money out of the movies? Like if they shot a movie, and of course everybody knows about the cinemas. And people go there and buy tickets, but what about documentaries? How people make money out of documentaries? So,
okay, it's a couple questions there, but I mean, number one, the pay-per-view services, they can do one of a number of things. They can buy your script, make it themselves in-house. They all are production companies. That is something that they do. They can buy something that's been already made. They can finance something to have it made through an outside production crew. Netflix can buy it outright, or Netflix can put it on their network and pay you per click, where you get paid for how many people watch it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, there's a whole lot of different ways these networks stream things, and you get paid. Mm-hmm. It's how whatever deal you work out with them. That seems to be the way everything works nowadays. There's so many ways to do things. That's one of the things I keep telling young people I know who want to get into this. They're like, "Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard." I'm like, when I was a kid, there was 3 TV channels in Chicago that showed that showed new television, primetime television shows. Channel 2, 5, and 7. There was between 7 and 10 p.m. every night. So you had 3 hours on 3 networks. So you had 9 hours a night of primetime television. Mm-hmm. Times 7 days a week. That's 63 hours.
Okay.
A week. That's it. Of primetime television. Now there's how many thousands of different ways to get it from. I mean, you have things. The networks are still there. You have things like HBO, which is doing major high budget projects. Like I said, Game of Thrones. HBO, everything I know about them and all the conversations we have with putting shows there. They want big budget. They want stellar, amazing stuff on their channel. Spent $6-8 million for a 1-hour TV show is amazing. But Game of Thrones, what do you think they spent on special effects with all those costumes and the castles and all of that? And that was all done by professionals, and they didn't do it here. They went somewhere and did it.
What do you mean now? They went somewhere?
I think they shot that in the mountains in Europe and all kinds. You know what it costs to fly 500 people from Chicago to a mountain on the side of Bavaria somewhere and rent out a castle for 3 months?
Yeah.
I mean,
huge amount of money.
You're talking millions of dollars, and you're talking about earlier the conversation about camera equipment. Well, trust me, they brought their equipment with them. Everything got packed up and put on private planes in Los Angeles, California, and was flown wherever they shot that.
I guess they needed 2-3 airplanes to transport everything.
Yes, whatever they needed, they brought with them, and not just that, they had to put those people somewhere, so they had to put them in hotels or rent, I don't know, Airbnb or whatever. But they had to do something. They had to feed them. They had to make sure that everything they had was taken care of for hundreds of people.
Yeah, of course.
So, like I said, those projects are not cheap, and then you have everything down to that, to YouTube, to Vimeo, where you can make a project. I've seen, the Blair Witch Project is a perfect example. There was a movie that won an Academy Award that was made for like $10,000.
Really?
It was filmed with GoPro cameras.
Yeah, it's just I have heard.
If you don't know it, my recommendation is to watch it and see what they did. It's like they had to wear on GoPro cameras, and it's like they went out and chased ghosts out in the woods. And it was like the way they edited it. It was scary and it was great. People loved it.
Yeah.
I did a chase scene with GoPro cameras where I play a mafia boss where I'm going to kill somebody. And there's a scene where I chase him through the woods. Mm-hmm. Well, they mounted a GoPro camera on my chest, so I chased him for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Then they mounted a GoPro camera on his back, so you saw me chasing him running away. So you had it first person through me, and then you had me third person through him being chased through the woods.
Wow.
And then when it was edited, and we put the voices in there, the the heavy breathing and the chasing, and it was intense.
I can imagine.
And when that was filmed with cameras that cost $500.
Yes.
Like,
Not like Red camera.
No, it wasn't.
$10,000 minimum.
It wasn't a $700,000 red camera. Those are cheap cameras. It's like you now have more cameras available. You could buy a Panasonic camera for $2,000. You can do a feature film on it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I have heard that people are switching to Sony Alfa because they shoot in 4K and the color is very amazing. Like everything is.
They're good. My camera, I like to use the red. I'm a red guy.
No doubts, because you have money.
But no, they're expensive. No, they're expensive, but they're worth the money. You have in Chicago, as an example, like pretty much every market where you're going to be filming stuff. You have there's a couple big companies here. I'm friends with someone that owns one of the rental places. I actually get pretty good deals, because of that. But no, you can rent equipment. It's a lot cheaper than buying it. And it's like you get insurance in case it gets broken.
Yeah.
Because that does happen, especially if you're doing action type things. I do a lot of action stuff. You're chasing somebody down the street and something gets broken. It happens.
The camera gets broken.
Yeah, I mean, a fight scene, you have someone breaks a hand. That's a lot less expensive actually than breaking a camera.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, so it's like you do it, but it's like there are ways to rent things, and if you buy stuff slowly.
What do you mean buy stuff slowly?
You buy your sound equipment. You could buy sound for a film for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Then you rent the cameras, but you have the sound stuff. Then you buy cameras.
Okay.
You just, as you go along, you add pieces. Me, it's like I do a lot of action stuff. I've collected guns and knives and weapons, and I have police uniforms and all the different things I wear all the time.
Yeah.
I've got dozens of these things. I've got all kinds of brass knuckles and weapons, and I have all kinds of stuff. So you want to have a sword fight? I got swords.
Yeah.
We can film that.
Do you need a gun?
I got lots of guns. But like I said, I got fake ones and I got real ones, and movie prop ones.
Do they use real guns on set?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm filming something, they call them gun wranglers. The guy that's the gun weapon expert, fight expert. I've been that guy in multiple projects. If I have people that know what they're doing, I would much rather use real guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not loaded, of course, but the people that are handling them know how to handle a gun.
But last time when I was on set, there was like this sound bomb. It looks like a real gun, but of course it was not real bullets in it. So how do you do that? Like, can you please tell?
Well, if you want to make a gun go boom, there's special effects. You could also put real blanks in guns, so you get the real look. I mean, you could do that post production. You could add the sound and that sort of stuff. I like to have both. You put a blank in a gun and they go boom, and you shoot something. It's the gun fires and it's right in front of you. And a blank works the exact same way a real gun does.
It's called blank,
yes.
Right?
And it's not a real bullet, but it looks like it's real.
Yeah. Last time I was impressed. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, you've seen one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks and sounds like a real gun going off. And it's like I said, post production is great, but real is real.
Yeah, that's true.
I can always add stuff in post, but real is real.
Yes.
I love the look of real guns. And a lot of times you see these guns, they're rubber, they're plastic. You actually can see that if you know what you're looking for, you can see they're fake. I see fake stuff all the time. And I'm looking, that's fake, that's garbage. And I know what it is, I've bought them, I've used them. Versus a real piston or pump 12 gauge, a Mossberg 500, baby. That thing it's the real thing. When you slide around in the chamber, it goes click.
Oh yeah.
It's got that sound, and it sounds that way.
Yeah.
So it's not this Hollywood fictional stuff. You know, it's the real thing.
In how many movies did you play? How many roles?
Well, I've been probably in like the last. Well, my career is weird because I started when I was younger and I stopped for a long time and I got back into it. So like in the last 6 years, I've been like 22 different projects.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to be involved in 5 more this year, and we're already in October. Yeah, I've got a number of things going on. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on in Chicago, and I really hope that the political environment doesn't destroy it all, which happened 30 years ago.
Really?
There was a lot of movies filmed in Chicago. If you go back in history, The Breakfast Club was a big film. Ferris Bueller's Day Off was a big film. Chuck Norris made a movie called Code of Silence. I was a stunt guy in that movie. That was filmed here in the 80s. There was a lot of good stuff that took place here. There was a governor who got involved and got it's called a tax credit.
What does it mean?
Tax credit means if you make a film here, you're allowed to deduct X amount of money you made on the movie here. So right now the tax credit in Illinois is 25%. So you do $1 million project, you can deduct $250,000. That's a big deal.
Exactly.
That's a big deal. So that's why you're seeing, and if you are in what's called a disadvantaged zip code, you get an extra 10%. So TV shows like Empire, which they say it's filmed in New York, but it's filmed in Chicago, or Shameless is filmed in Chicago, or Chicago PD or Med are filmed in Chicago. They always film on the west side of Chicago in bad neighborhoods, so they're in disadvantaged zip codes, so they get that extra 10%. I don't blame them. You know, the political environment historically, this was in place back in the 80s, and they elected some politicians, I won't say which party, Democrat, which basically got rid of the tax credits and got all the and the films all left, and they went somewhere else to get a better deal. Well, we have that deal back. The tax credit is strong and doing well here, and I really hope that current governor and the foolish people in the General Assembly and Congress in Illinois don't decide to destroy it again.
We hope so.
We hope so.
Okay. Thank you today for all your answers. It was my pleasure to interview you, and I'm sure that all my subscribers, they will be also grateful for all these answers, because you revealed some stuff which many people are curious about. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Have a good day.